Hello, welcome, welcome. This is What's Done in the Dark Tea. We are here recapping Love Island Season 8, Episode 23. If you could do me a favor, do all the things, like, share, subscribe, follow, I would really appreciate it. And we will get started. So, I'm not gonna lie. This episode was medium good. It's because it did give you a lot, like there were a lot of dramatic parts, but then there was just like also a lot of filler. Like I feel like the game portion was just so long. I mean, we did get a lot out of the game, but it just felt like it was so long. So this review is probably not going to be that long because a lot of this stuff, I say that, but this note is really, really long. But a lot of this is probably not even worth talking about. I feel like I was taking notes on everything, but a lot of little things happen that I think will be a good part of tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be a better episode than today was because we get a little drama. So the episode picks up and it's still the night of the recoupling. Like they're still around the fire pit. And at this point we see, Anaya is going through it. Honestly, at this point, the Casa boys and the Casa girls at this point can go to hell. Cause what are y'all laughing for? Like Anaya is going through it and don't get me wrong. She pissed me off and I have been very critical of Anaya because I just feel like she has just been annoying me a little bit, but we cannot deny that KC was playing games. Like I just feel like that's just not something that we can deny. KC was playing games. I think it was in poor taste, and I think them sitting over there laughing was disgusting. You know how I said in the last couple episodes that I didn't think somebody could out-it KC? Well, Corbin actually out-it KC this episode, even though they both still grossed me out. The laughing I just felt like was so unnecessary, but I thought that this was, thank God for Melanie. I know I see a lot of the internet chatter about how Melanie is not a good friend to Anaya, and that girl may have her faults, yeah, but whenever her girls need it, I feel like she comes through with the good advice. Even if she can't take the advice herself, I feel like she still tries to give the best advice she can to her friends, and I respect Melanie for that. I think that her getting Anaya up off of that floor, I feel like she said what needed to be said, and I felt like she said it in a way that needed to be said for that moment. We get a conversation between Corbin, Bryce, and Sin. Corbin is just so lame. Like, he's just so lame. The girls talk to Pramita and they tell her that it's nothing personal, that it was more so against Corbin. Her responses are so, it's just like, it's almost like they're so empty. Like there's nothing behind it. Like when she is having conversations, it's just this very boys will be boys kind of attitude. And it's just like, girl, what they're trying to tell you is if he acts that way toward Kinsey, he will eventually act that way towards you. He had already left you in his DMs. Corbin is not the man of your dreams. He's just simply not. He might look like the man of your dreams, but he is not the man of your dreams. I just think she's so male-centered, and she makes this comment about she's not going to hold him accountable for his past. Honey, sweetie, baby, focus. His past was 3 days ago. His past is 3 days ago. Get it together. She is so male-centered. But I do feel like Trinity is such a class act. She apologized. She said it was nothing personal against her. I just thought that the way that she handled that was beautiful. She's handled things well the whole season, and I think she continued to. This is why I don't as much mind. I know that people, like, as soon as somebody crashes out, they're like, oh, get them out my villa. And I don't always feel like that, even though I do feel like Tierra and KC should go home. after this episode, I feel like I still feel that way, but more so based on KC. It doesn't really have anything to do with her, even though I didn't like the way that she acted one time. But I feel like you can give people a chance. Had she not been coupled up with KC, I wouldn't mind her staying. But it's just, I don't know. I think Trinity is a class act. And I think that every season, whenever we jump to vilify these people just for one moment, I think that that's crazy, because you can see how multi-dimensional people are. They can, you know what I'm saying? They can do other things. You can be pissed off one moment and still be the person that they saw all season and not be like, oh, that's the real her. That's the real her. Now with Casey, now that's the real him. 100%. Because you see how he's standing on it, and not saying that he shouldn't stand on his choice or whatever, but the way that he's doing it is just, I don't know. I don't like it. Melanie and Sin talk, and she says that she just feels like she's happy that they're together, but it's obvious that she's still upset, and Sin is doing his best to manipulate her. I say it every time. I think Sin is a very attractive guy, but I also think that he is probably the most manipulative guy on the show. KC and Corbin are just... KC wasn't able to be manipulative in the same way that Sincere is, because Sincere makes every girl feel like they're the one. KC could barely even juggle what he had going on. Everything exploded before he even got back with the girl. So yeah, I don't like that. Melanie, whenever Sin is explaining, he's essentially manipulating the hell out of her, and she just smiles and kisses her. And in this moment, I'm thinking girl, please. He is a liar. Her being all sad and moping and them fighting back and forth, it is annoying, but in this particular situation, I'm thank God, because I was really upset that she was just gonna let that go again. He does not need to explore that way, and he knows it, but he's manipulating her, so hopefully she doesn't fall for it. We get a conversation between Trinity and Bryce. I think this was really cute. They really like each other so much, it's obvious. I just like seeing them back together. We get a conversation between KC and TT, and they're still laughing, and she's all like, my man, I'm going to stand down for my man. I'm going to do this for my man. And KC is still bringing up the fact that Anaya didn't choose him. That is one resentful man. And TT, do you really want to be with a man like KC? Because look how he is holding on to something that small. That means for the rest of your life, you are going to be walking on eggshells, because any little thing that you do, he is going to be holding that over your head. What is his sign? We need to find out what his sign is, honestly. They're still getting voted off. The way that Casey's acting, it doesn't matter what Tiara does at this point. They're getting voted off. Whenever she said, we're like Romeo and Juliet, girl, please. Please. I don't even have anything to say about that. Zach and Kata talk. I love the outfit that Kata had, that she wore in this. It had a little moon and star embellishment in the center. Oh my god, it was so pretty. This very pretty light bluish, maybe periwinkle. I don't know. That was so pretty. I need to find out where she got that from. That was so adorable. Not that it's going to look like that on me, but whatever, Kata. Drop the deets. Anyway, I think that it's completely and totally crazy that they are not being honest about the reason that girl went home. Even Zach was like, I chose you. I came home to you. Kata has no idea that he was coming home regardless because that girl left. And I just think that is so crazy. I hope that there's a movie night. I hope there's some kind of challenge. I just hope that there's something to shake it up, because they weren't honest. And I want the truth about what Sincere did and the stuff that Zach did. I want that to come out, because he was no angel. No pun intended. He was no angel. And then, oh yeah, in this conversation, he starts with, oh, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. We're not boyfriend and girlfriend. That's the same thing that he did after they went to the hideaway. And he was like, are you going to be mad if I talk to a bombshell? Now you're on some, we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. We're not boyfriend and girlfriend, but you're in the bed dropping the L word. I just really don't want Zach and Kate to be together, but neither of them are going to leave each other alone, and I just don't like them as a couple. Anyway, Anaya, she's going to sleep out in Soul Ties. This is so sad. She goes to bed early. She's crying. Melanie's trying to comfort her. She's so upset. Trinity is talking to Kinsey, and they just feel like KC's switch up is so crazy. It's very very sad to see Anaya this way. It's very sad to see her that way. Parmita and Corbin talk, and again, she's just so male-centered. I don't even care to listen to them talk. It's gross. We get a conversation between Gal and Jen. He says that he's still going to explore. She says that she knows that he's still going to explore. I have no idea why she brought him back, but I guess we're just doing stuff for the plot. Caleb and Jaden kiss because they have to show us them every now and then so we remember that they are there. Kinsey and Dylan kiss, and then it is bedtime. Casey is saying that he might want to talk to Anaya maybe, but all of her friends can't be around. Shut up. You don't even deserve to talk to her. TT apologizes to everyone, and this is what I was saying. I don't have a problem with TT. I think that, she stood on her emotions at the moment. I can't be mad at her. Stand with your man. And then afterwards she accepted accountability. I think everybody handled it well, and they just, they did the best they could with the situation. She stood up for her man. She didn't know the girls yet. I think now that she's getting to know them, she might see a little bit of the different perspective. I thought that it was nice that she apologized. And then she also in this conversation lets Melanie know that Sincere was doing a lot and that he's not being completely and totally honest. We get a conversation. Oh, I forgot. Zach and Bryce get a little hump in, but that's nothing new. Corbin is laying in bed with Permita. His breath stinks. Trinity and Bryce seem like they're basically closed off. They say that they're not going to talk to anybody else, and I know that they're not going to talk to anybody else. I just don't want them to say that they're closed off, because I don't want them to go to the hideaway and us not see them anymore, because Trinity is just much needed. And then what is Bryce going to do without Zach to hump? It just doesn't make sense. Anaya said that she's good on talking to KC. I think she's just talking at the time. Eventually her and KC are going to have a conversation. I personally think it's a waste of time, but they will have a conversation. It's the next morning. It seems like everybody got some French fry last night, including Trinity. Still unsure what French fry is, but Trinity said that she got some and Kinsey was happy for her. Talks to Caleb and says that he supposedly cares about Anaya's feelings. Doubt it. Anaya, Zach, and Sin talk about Carl. And this was really sad because she was just expressing how good Carl made her feel. And I did like how in the moment the boys were reassuring her and letting her know like she is pretty enough. She is, enough. I do, even though Sin does lie all the time, I do think, I don't know if he maybe grew up with a lot of women or what, but it seems like he is very, very good at making people feel good. And even though Zach is a piece of crap, I won't even say piece of crap, even though Zach gets on my nerves, I do appreciate that in this moment he was able to show empathy for Anaya, and they were able to give her some good advice and give her a safe space to talk about how she felt about Carl. This was so funny. Zach and Kata are like on the dock and they're having a conversation, and Kata's like, "Oh, I sat here with Shay. He picked me up. He squatted me here. He had all in his face, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just really funny. And Zach was just looking extra scrawny. She was just like, "Oh, he's a big dog. He's a big man. That's a big boy." She just kept doing it. I loved it. I thought it was super funny. But then again, there goes Zach throwing off the "we're not boyfriend and girlfriend. We're not boyfriend and girlfriend." Anyway, Melanie knows that Sin is a liar, and he's trying to gaslight her by the pool. He can't do it. She feels like his behavior was unacceptable, and she just keeps putting a band-aid on it. Sin is incapable of understanding why, if she explored, why him exploring was a big deal. And it's just simply like this. Sin had already explored one time and did a lot with Soul. So in Melanie's mind, this was a test to prove if he was serious, and it is a test that he failed. Yet again, he referred to being with an Amora as weeding out the bad shit. Melanie gets up and walks away, and I don't blame her. She's upset. She talks to Trinity, and she's just letting her know that she just feels like he just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again, and he doesn't learn, he doesn't respect her, and that she essentially looks crazy for accepting what he's doing when everybody keeps telling her that he is lying to her. Tells Zach that he owed Amora the experience, and that's why he did what he did. We get a conversation between Anaya and TT. It's all love. I thought that both women were very mature about the situation. As I said, I like TT way better away from KC. And honestly, she might have just been doing what she needed to do to get on the show. She might not even like Casey that much. And honestly, if that's the case, I would probably like her a little bit better. If I find out she was just scamming to get on Love Island, fine by me at this point. Fine by me, because you're going home anyway. Casey and Corbin and Sin, they're sitting down talking, and Corbin says to Casey, they're gonna see us happy and be even more mad. And Jaden gets a text from, I don't know who the text from. Jaden gets a text, and it pretty much says that they're going in head to head, girls versus boys. All the girls seem to be getting along pretty well. Everybody's in the dressing room. Everybody's chilling. We get a hug between TT and Anaya. TT says that she messes with Mel heavy. And then in walks the hot girl coach. I don't think I did that very well. Either way, Meg the Stallion is in the building, and within 10 seconds, Kinsey is in the splits. I don't understand it. I don't know how it happens. I don't know how a split is appropriate for every occasion, but Kinsey makes it happen. Meg goes around, she talks to the girls, and then she goes and she meets with the boys. Bryce gives Meg a tour of the room. It was very, very cute. Bryce had a little game right there. I was like, okay, Bryson. I don't think that that's his real name, but we're going to call him Bryson. When he got the Timbs on, he's Bryson. Okay. Meg is in the confessional, and she says that she needs to explore. And after what I've seen about Meg and Clay, she definitely needs to explore. Fumbling Meg the Stallion is just insane. Because if you saw her in that... Y'all saw it. I don't even have to tell you. Meg swimwear is out there. She's throwing it. The girls, they're dressed up. They've got on these like pastel corsets with these little hats and these like ruffled, like kind of like panties things. Jaden says they look like Ratatouille, and honestly, they do. It's a girls versus boys musical challenge. They're twerking. I'm not going to lie to you. I took notes on this, but it was the longest challenge. Like, after the first round, I took the notes on, everybody who was going, and like, Kinsey was throwing that thing. She was in a back bin. TT ends up winning. Caleb and Dylan, I saw that. I don't know what that little cake in the mouth thing was. There's something weird going over there. Meg was clearly grossed out by a lot of the guys dancing, as were we at home. I don't know what was going on there, but I took all these notes. KC wins. And then she said, we're going to get this cleaned up for round 2. And I'm like, round 2? So then we get into round 2. The girls are in a cake with their heads sticking out, kind of like a whack-a-mole situation. The guys get to go first. They have to throw cakes at the girls. I wrote down everybody who hit everybody. But I just feel like that's really not important. The standouts of it were that Caleb, he hit Parmita because he said that they talked and then never talked again. And she goes, it's not my fault. I guess he's just jealous because I have a connection with Corbin. Girl, fumbling Caleb for Corbin, you and Kinsey are going to need rehab after this for fumbling that man for Corbin. Sin pies Jen for absolutely no reason. He says that she's double crossing or something like that, but I think that maybe he thinks that he says that she just got here, like she hasn't been there for 2 weeks, and I don't know. I don't know why he did that. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but maybe he thinks that she's the one that told Anaya something. I don't know why he's not thinking that it's TT or one of the Casa girls. It doesn't make sense, but often Sincere, he doesn't really think stuff out. So maybe that's why. I have no idea. Corbin pies Kinsey or cakes Kinsey, and I just thought that was so lame. Meg pretty much tells the boys that they ain't shit, pretty much. Then the girls go, standout moments. Parmita gets Corbin because she says that he did it once and don't do it to her. I thought that was kind of a cool moment that she did that for Kinsey, but overall I still feel like there's not a lot going on up there. Trinity got Bryce so that she could lick it off later. Kinsey, she got Corbin. TT, she did Sin because she says that he is not honest, and he's like, I don't know why she's saying I'm not honest. I just tell half truths, and maybe that's why. That's exactly why, Sin. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know what's going on in there. Mel gets KC and Corbin. I'm like, thank you, because everybody kept missing KC. I think that she kind of missed him too, but whatever. Then Meg gives it to Anaya, and Anaya just unloads all over KC. She's just hitting him constantly with the flow. I love that Meg hyped her up. The baddest, the realest, the prettiest, and I'm glad that she did all that. I'm glad that she got KC. I'm tired of looking at KC. I just feel like that man is he's just the worst. He's just the worst. And it's like, I have to remember that they're young or whatever, but some of those characteristics just don't change, because like a lot of the people that I knew that were like that, even whenever I was younger, like now that we're older and, we're out of college and all of that, those behaviors didn't change once they got a wife. Some of them did, but not all of them. Let's just be real. The girls win. Girl power, girl power, girl power. I think they could have came up with something better than that, but I guess it was on the fly. Then we get, and at the end, we get a head-to-head. It's Kinsey versus Bryce. I'm telling you, this is the longest challenge. They go face first into a cake. There was a prize inside. Who knows what Kinsey got? She pulled out, I think, something that was holding the cake together and was like, is this it? No, girl. Zach ends up winning. Then at the end, Meg announces that there's one more part of the challenge, and she says revenge is sweet. At this point, Sincere is looking physically ill because Meg is saying that she has a present for them, and she's saying that America was given the chance to bring back one boy and one girl from Casa, and he literally looks like he is just He is sweating bullets. He is sweating bullets. And then it's announced Amora and Carl are back in the villa. Finally, Anaya, please do not mess this up. We gave you Carl back. Do the right thing. I hope that he gives her the opportunity to explore. If he didn't, I would understand, because she didn't take him, or because she was kind of playing, but he seems like a stand-up guy, so I don't think that that's going to be the case. I hope that she does the right thing. I could see Casey getting jealous and trying to circle the block, and I hope that she just never does that to herself again. Keep your head high, Anaya. Enjoy your time with Carl. America keeps giving you second chances. Love Island keeps giving you second chances. Please, for the love of God, take them. Well, that's pretty much it for episode 23, and that was Sunday night's episode. So we will have this up tomorrow morning, and we will be back Monday night with episode 24. Hopefully some good stuff happens, because this was a long episode for not a lot to have happened. So hopefully tomorrow we get some good stuff. We've got 2 new people in the villa, and it just sounds like it's going to be good. So if you guys could do me a favor, like, follow, subscribe, share, do all the things. This has been What's Done in the Dark Tea, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.